Site, topo surface. So as we can see in this rendering, now it's a little bit bright out there, but there's some grass out there and there's a tree. How did we get those in there? And it's always nice whenever you're rendering to have that in. It just adds just that little bit of realism to your renderings. Even if you're rendering inside, it's nice to be able to see outside and see what some of the surroundings are going to be. So here we are. It's pretty sparse right now. We've really been concentrating mainly inside the building. So let's look at how the outside can be spruced up a little bit with some topo surface and with trees. We're going to start with a topo surface command. Number one, we want to go to the site plan. So that's the first thing you have to know about sites and about the topo surface command. Then in the ribbon, we're going to go to massing and site. I've explained earlier that I do have a couple extra tabs on my ribbon, and those are just things that I've added in. By no means do you need to run those to do this course, or don't be concerned if you don't have them. There are extras that you can get. But for now, we're just dealing with purely out of the box, and we're going to work on this tool right here. This is the topo surface tool. Let's just click on that. So you get into the sketch mode of the topo surface, but there's really no lines to be drawn. This is all about points. And in future videos, we'll be able to talk in depth about how to make complex surfaces, import contours, bring in survey points, bring in point data. There's a lot you can do with the topography, but for now we're just going to do it on a very basic level. So we're going to place points, that's the default, and then you can just give it an elevation. Now our floor was 9 inches below level top of floor 1. So let's start there. We're going to go -9 inches. And we're just going to start clicking points. So we'll say click there, click there. I'm not really trying to be too precise. As I pick these points, notice it's adding more points. Now I'll go back up here and I'll say, let's slope down a little bit. Let's say 24 inches. So it's going to go maybe down to there. It's going to slope down, and maybe on the other side it's 3 feet. So I'm just going back up to the options bar and typing in 3 feet. So I'll click there. Do you have to click right on the property line? No. You can just keep extending that beyond if you want to. So it's still sloping down 3 feet. You can see here that there are some contours indicating elevation changes. Now I'm going to keep that at -3 feet and slope all the way back to there. And then maybe the other corner perhaps slopes farther, -5 feet. There's quite a slope on this site, let's say. Now, once you've picked all of your points, you can click on Finish Surface. How can we see what we've done? Well, let's go into the default 3D view, and now we'll see that we have a bit of a site there. So we can click on that, and in the properties, we can change one important thing, and that's the material. So I can click on the material, and there's a little extra button that I just pressed on there, and it's going to launch this materials dialog box, and this is perhaps the first time you've seen that. So this is perhaps the first time you've seen the materials dialog. So I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to look for site, and there's one here called site-grass. Okay. Now, when we shade this, which we're going to do shortly, it's not too hard to do. You just click on shade right down there. You can see that that's green. Good. So what's some other information you can get about this? Well, I can click on it and I can get some basic information like the projected area, which is just take the edges and what's that area versus the surface area. And that's the actual measuring the surfaces and the angles of that. And remember, this is not cutting out a hole for the building or anything. It's just one big piece of topography. So what if you want to edit what you've done? Well, you can just click on the topography, then click on Edit Surface. And then all those points that you put in are available to you. So if I wanted to change this one, I could click on it. And in the options bar, I could say, this is -4 feet. Enter. Now it's going to straighten out that topography a little bit. And you can pick a bunch of them and change them all at the same time if you want to. Change them all to 0, and then it all goes up to 0. I can also undo if I've done something like that. I can hit the green check mark in the ribbon, and then that will finish any edits that I've made. Okay, so now we got to talk a little bit about trees and shrubs and bushes. And let's take a look at that in another video.